On October 21st, IBJ unveils the 2025 Women of Influence. Join us to celebrate Indy's most inspiring leaders and hear the powerful stories behind their success. Don't miss this moment. Register now at ibj.com/influence 2025.
This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the afternoon of Monday, October 13th, 2025. I'm Alex Brown. The nonprofit Pike County Progress Partners is teaming up with Naval Surface Warfare Center Crane Division to boost entrepreneurial growth in the county. Executive Director Ashley Willis says the partnership intermediary agreement allows the entities to work together on business efforts such as patent research.
If we have ideas or establish a patent, then they can go through that process, and Crane can be a resource to us and our organization, and then we can likewise help them reach the business goals at the speed of business.
She says the ultimate goal is to develop new small businesses that stay and grow in Pike County. Workers at the Horseshoe Indianapolis casino in Shelbyville plan to strike for union recognition as an election planned for Friday is delayed indefinitely due to the government shutdown. The Teamsters Local 135 says the casino has ignored a proposal to move forward with the October 17th election using a neutral third party to conduct the vote. Typically, the National Labor Relations Board would conduct the vote, but the agency says it is closed due to a lapse in appropriated funds. The union said the goal of the strike is for management to ultimately give in to the election request. For the fifth consecutive month, Indiana revenue collections exceeded the most recent estimates in September. The Indiana State Budget Agency reports that general fund revenues last month totaled $2.3 billion, which was $107 million higher than the April 2025 forecast, or 4.9%. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Thanks for listening to this IBJ Media podcast. You're probably going to remember this ad. Do you know why? Podcast advertising works. 85% of listeners recalled hearing an ad during a podcast, and 70% of podcast listeners have acted after hearing an ad. So whether you're looking to be heard across the entire IBJ Media Podcast Network, sponsor one of our shows, or just start with a 30-second ad, IBJ Media can help. Contact advertise at ibj.com to learn more.
In the coming days, a food aid program that helps millions of mothers and young children will likely run out of money. Mark Mazurik has more.
States like Indiana must use their own dollars to keep funds flowing to families or let it lapse, a move that would cut benefits for the 157,000 Hoosiers who rely on the Special Supplemental Nutrition Program for Women, Infants, and Children, or WIC. But the Indiana Department of Health declined to share specifics about how WIC would operate in the state, saying that, quote, funds have been identified to keep WIC operating as normal for the foreseeable future, end quote. But advocates warn of the potential impacts of Hoosier mothers, including those who are pregnant, and children relying on government services if such funds run out. Emily Weichert-Bryant, executive director of Feeding Indiana's Hungry, said other food benefits under the SNAP program appeared to have steady funding in the coming weeks alongside WIC. However, SNAP is reportedly also running out of money, even as the Trump administration explores using tariff revenue to fund WIC. Of the over 150,000 Hoosiers on WIC, more than half were children, while infants and mothers each made up 22% of Indiana's total. The program is one of thousands funded by the federal government, which has had its funding frozen since October 1st. I'm Mark Mazurik for Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Encouraging agricultural investment, strengthening rural communities, and supporting farms and farmers are the priorities of the Indiana Farm Bureau for the 2026 legislative session. Each year, the Bureau solicits policy suggestions from its 92 county affiliates and holds a delegate session to identify the key issues the organization will focus on at the State House for the coming year. Among the specific priorities, the Bureau said it will advocate for policies that provide further tax relief while improving the ability to pass a farm onto the next generation, noting that the property tax relief passed in the prior legislative session doesn't go far enough to strengthen the agricultural economy. Bombardier's decision to locate a new aircraft service center at Fort Wayne International Airport is viewed as a win for Northeast Indiana and the state. The multi-million-dollar investment is expected to bring 100 new jobs there, and Mayor Sharon Tucker expects more to come.
And we're excited about what it means for young mechanics who want to have a career in the trades and want to go into aerospace to do that work. When I personally talked with members of Bombardier, they were very concerned about the workforce. And when we shared with them the opportunity that exists in our city, it just made it an attractive location.
The facility, expected to open in 2026, is being built to provide maintenance and modification services for the aircraft manufacturer's growing Midwest fleet. Republic Airways President Matt Koskell is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports and entertainment, and beyond. Available now on the IBJ Media app or your favorite podcast provider. I'm Alex Brown for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.
Hi, I'm Dave Neff, host of Talent Scout. On this show, we shine a light on Indiana's next generation of leaders who are making a difference in business, community, and civic life. These are real conversations about purpose, mentorship, and building a future that matters. Join me as we invest in leadership that lasts. Subscribe now on your favorite podcast app or listen at ibjpodcasts.com. Your commute just got smarter. Turn drive time into growth time. The IBJ Media Podcast Network gives you front row access to leaders shaping Indiana's economy, culture, and future. No filler, just smart, relevant, local storytelling you won't get anywhere else. Find all of our shows by searching IBJ Media in your podcast app or visit ibjpodcasts.com.